Welcome all. Welcome to Bodhi Classes. Today, we shall learn CBSE Class 6 Science, Mindful Eating, a Path to a Healthy Body. Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer, shall we? We have a seriously incredible, colorful journey ahead of us today. We're going to be exploring something we all do every single day, literally every day, but rarely actually stop to truly think about: eating. It's so much more than just putting food in our mouths.
So, picture this. Our curious friends, Madhu and Mishti, are just standing there in their school hallway. They're staring super intently at a bright, vibrant notice board, and their eyes are totally locked onto this exact Sanskrit phrase, annana jatani jivanti. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, it translates to food gives life to living beings. It sounds pretty obvious, right? But as Madhu and Mishti are about to find out, there is this profound, utterly fascinating universe of science hiding just beneath the surface of that simple sentence.
And really, that brings us to the big question: what actually makes a body truly healthy? Is it just, eating absolutely anything that fills up our stomachs? Well, no, not quite. And that is exactly where our friend's investigation kicks off. To have a genuinely healthy body, the food we eat has to hit 3 key marks. It must be wholesome, it must be eaten in moderation, and it has to be perfectly appropriate for the specific season and place you live in. So let's tag along on Madhu and Mishti's grand learning journey.
Our dynamic duo's very first stop is their school's incredibly colorful traditional food festival. I want you to just imagine walking into a massive courtyard. There are these bright yellow and pink banners fluttering everywhere against a crisp blue sky. The air is just thick with the warm, rich smells of roasting spices and sweet treats. It's a bustling, absolute sensory wonderland. And right there, smack in the center of all these vibrant stalls, is the wise nutritional expert, Dr. Pashida, totally ready to drop some major scientific knowledge on us.
And right off the bat, Dr. Poshita shares this absolute golden rule that we should all honestly write down. Health is the ultimate wealth. Think about this for a second. Have you ever completely missed a meal? How did you feel? I bet you felt drained, totally exhausted, and probably pretty cranky, right? Your body is exactly like a high-performance engine that's just running out of fuel. Dr. Poshita teaches Madhu and Mishti that without the right fuel, we can't play, we can't study, we can't really enjoy life. Food isn't just a quick snack, it is our ultimate source of wealth.
But it's not just about the food itself. Our entire relationship with how we prepare food has evolved over time. Just think about the stark contrast in our kitchens. On one side of history, we have the slow, smoky, earthy magic of the traditional chula, the clay stove, and the rhythmic, incredibly grounding grind of the stone silbakta. Now contrast that with the fast, clicking, sleek, metallic reality of our modern gas stoves and high-speed electrical grinders. It's wild. How we prep our meals has changed so dramatically, altering not just how fast we cook, but the actual texture and rhythm of our daily lives.
And all of this beautifully illustrates the absolute magic of our geography. India's food plate is, it's wildly diverse. If you travel from the freezing, snowy peaks of the north all the way down to the warm, tropical coasts of the south, your plate completely changes colors and flavors. But why is that? It's because our food choices are deeply, deeply tied to what specific crops can actually grow in our local climates, our rich cultural traditions, and our unique regional tastes. Basically, every single state has its own colorful, completely delicious, nutritional fingerprint.
But hold on a second, because not all food choices lead to that ultimate wealth Dr. Pashida talked about. Poor Madhu. He loves eating nothing but noodles, biscuits, and white bread, and completely refuses to touch his vegetables. And guess what happens? He feels incredibly tired, sluggish, and is constantly complaining about a stomachache. This is just a perfect, real-world example of what happens physically when you have an unbalanced, vegetable-free diet. Our bodies are literally screaming for real nutrients, not just empty fillers.
So what is the actual science behind Madhu's awful tummy ache? Well, it's the epic showdown between junk food and Nutri-cereals. Junk foods are super tricky. They taste amazing because they're loaded with high levels of sugars and fats, but they seriously lack protein, minerals, vitamins, and crucial dietary fiber. Now, on the flip side, we have these absolute powerhouse grains. Millets, which we call Nutri-cereals, things like jowar, bajra, and ragi. These guys provide all the essential nutrients our bodies desperately need to just function properly.
Now, we actually need to get a bit serious for a moment and talk about what happens when we completely ignore these lessons. Over time, a poor diet leads to what scientists call a deficiency disease. This isn't just a tummy ache, it's a serious illness caused by a long-term lack of essential nutrients. For instance, our text mentions a story about a girl named Reshwa. She suddenly started having trouble seeing things whenever the light was dim.
Why? Because her diet was completely lacking in one specific vital vitamin. The reality is, our bodies will eventually break down if we don't supply them with the right building blocks.
Okay, let's pivot here to something I find just truly fascinating. The very next time you sit down to eat, I want you to ask yourself a question. What is the incredible chronological journey of a simple chapati? Like, where did it actually come from before it miraculously appeared hot and fresh on your dining table? Let's join Mishti and Nedu as we look past the food right in front of us, hit rewind on the clock, and journey all the way backward into the vibrant, sunlit fields.
All right, here we go. Phase 1 of this epic timeline, from seed to grain. And let me tell you, this takes months of absolute dedication. Imagine these massive golden wheat fields just swaying in the breeze. First up, the farmer dedicates months, literally months, to just growing the crop. Then comes the seriously heavy physical labor of threshing and winnowing to separate the grain. And finally, these precious little grains are carefully gathered and protected in large storage silos. That's months of backbreaking work before the food even leaves the farm.
Let's actually zoom in on that second step for a second, because it is visually just stunning. The golden harvest. During threshing and winnowing, farmers are literally using the power of nature itself. The farmer tosses the harvested crop high up into the air. Then, the gentle wind catches the lighter, totally useless chaff and just blows it away, while the heavy, golden, nutrient-rich wheat grains fall perfectly straight down into these beautiful, shimmering piles. It's honestly a masterpiece of traditional agricultural science. Now, let's speed things up a bit for Phase 2, processing and transport. The timeline compresses from months down to just a matter of days. You can almost feel the bustling mechanical energy here. The golden grains are rushed to these loud grinding mills, where massive stones crush them into soft flour. Then comes the swift, rhythmic packing process, which is immediately followed by the heavy rumble of large transport trucks, carrying this flour across entire cities and states, delivering it to retail shops and eventually right to your very own kitchen.
But wait a minute. All those trucks and all that transport bring us to a really critical scientific and environmental concept: food miles. What exactly are food miles? Well, it's the total distance your food travels from its place of production all the way to you, the consumer. And the really crucial point here is this distance carries a very heavy ecological weight. The further your food has to travel, the more fuel is burned and the more carbon is released right into our planet's atmosphere. Which, of course, leads us to a pretty fascinating question. How does eating local food actually help reduce our food miles? Think about it. When you actively choose vibrant, plant-based foods that are grown right in your own region, you are drastically cutting down on the need for all those massive transport trucks. You are directly minimizing those food miles. So eating locally sourced food isn't just exceptionally healthy for your physical body, it is a powerful, direct way to protect our beautiful planet. It's a total win-win situation.
And finally, after all of that, we reach the end of our chronological journey. The final destination, your plate. Whenever you sit down to a meal and see a hot, fresh chapati resting there, I want you to remember this incredible timeline. That simple, everyday piece of bread represents months of intense labor from farmers, millers, truck drivers, and just countless community members, all working together for one reason: to nourish you.
And because of that monumental, collective effort, we arrive at this absolute golden rule: never waste food. Take only what you can consume. Guys, when you leave food uneaten on your plate, you aren't just tossing away a snack. You are quite literally throwing away the sweat, the time, and the deep care of the farmer who grew it. We absolutely must show our immense respect for their intense labor by ensuring absolutely zero food waste in our homes, our cafeterias, and our schools. No excuses. So, let's wrap this whole explainer up with the ultimate Bodhi Klaus's mindful eating checklist. Are you ready? Number 1, eat local and plant-based to support your specific region. Number 2, ditch the empty junk food and swap it out for powerful nutri-cereals like millets. Number 3, always aim to minimize those food miles to help save the earth. And finally, number 4, always respect that incredible chronological farm-to-plate journey by never ever wasting a single bite.
And that officially brings us to the end of today's fantastic investigation. Before you go today, I really want you to look at your very next meal and ask yourself, how many hands worked to bring this to my plate, and what can I do to honor them today? If you love joining Nedu and Mishti on this amazing science adventure, please don't stop here.
Keep learning with us. Make sure to absolutely smash that like button, share this explainer with your friends, and subscribe to the Bodhi Classes YouTube channel for more awesome, colorful scientific journeys. Until next time, eat mindfully and stay curious.